So many reasons why you're wonderful, you my love.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Stella, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming to this channel and thank you so much for sticking with me. So on today's video, we have a special and an amazing guest, and we are going to be talking about the challenges young medical professionals face in private establishments or private labs. So if you want to know exactly what we talked about and how we dissected this topic, then I suggest you keep watching this video. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, and what you do for a living.
Okay, my name is Ezekiel. I'm a medical laboratory scientist. That's what I do. I help analyze samples from places and people to help give the medical diagnosis of what's wrong with the person.
Okay, so since you're already familiar with our topic for today, do you mind sharing or telling us where exactly you worked?
Okay, I currently work at Federal Medical Center in Igua, but
Okay.
I previously worked in two private facilities, but I won't be disclosing their names. So.
Okay, but for context, was it like a private lab or a government
Okay,
institution?
the first one was a private lab, just a
Mm-hmm.
lab, wasn't attached to anything. While the second one was a lab attached to a hospital, so it was more of a hospital.
Okay, so what was it like working in a place like that? Tell us about the working environment.
Okay, funny enough, I mean them A and B.
Mm.
Facility A was more of just a lab, so we had to source for samples from persons coming in, persons referred down, or persons that are just aware of themselves and wanted to conduct various laboratory tests to check up on themselves. And YB was a hospital setting, so we had more of patients who have been rushed to the hospital, patients who are maybe insurance patients, and other patients that we do.
Okay.
Well, so that was basically it.
Okay, so what was a normal day like for you?
Okay, for facility A, it was a startup lab, so basically everything in the facility was managed by me, I
Okay.
say, because I was the person that started up. I had to employ one or two persons to also work under me.
Oh,
So on a normal Monday morning, we are mostly looking at all the jobs we had during the weekend, maybe some samples that came during the weekend that we've not been able to give out results. So the first thing first, we definitely have to check on all our equipment over the weekend, make sure everything is working,
yeah.
check the samples we had in the freezer, the reagents we had in the freezer,
Mm,
call the power situation. We need to know was there enough power throughout the
mm,
weekend or the previous night to be able to know that those things were stored properly.
okay.
And after that, we have to check on the results that we are owing our various clients. Maybe you have booked a client to come for their results the next day, or maybe from the previous week, you have told them you can come by Monday for the results.
Okay.
So we have to check on those results to know how to dispatch them or get them ready while these clients come in. And basically, after that, the next thing will be to check on how the week's work will go.
We'll go like that.
Normally have a projection for every week to know, okay, this was what we did last week. This was the samples we worked on last week. These are the number of clients we had last week. Okay, this week we need to make a new target. We need to procure some new reagents, some new consumables from the previous week. So that was basically how a Monday goes in facility A I worked.
Okay.
Well, facility B was more of a private hospital, like I
Yeah.
said. So we had more documentation there, and I was
Mm,
working as a part of the team. We had a more established system there. So on a Monday morning, you definitely have to give a report
yeah.
to the head of your department to know, okay, this was what we did last week, the number of
Okay.
patients we
So
saw,
sorry to
and
cut you short.
everything.
So the report was for the previous week.
Yes, for the previous week to know how well you performed last week, because
Okay.
private establishments are profit oriented, so you have to know how well you did last week and maybe if you have a projection for this week. So that's basically what a Monday looks like.
Okay. So did you have to do anything like marketing? Because I know in some establishments they will tell you to go out and look for patients. So the amount they are going to pay you is going to be dependent on the number of patients you brought into the lab. So Was it like
Yeah,
that for you?
that's the sad part of the private establishment
Mm.
because you know, yeah, you have to be paid on what you bring in and what
Wow.
you work on. So for both facilities, I was taxed to try as much as I can to market the brand.
Mm.
So I mostly do that maybe by my WhatsApp status, my Facebook posts,
Mm.
trying to get one or two friends also in the health sector.
Okay.
Okay, if you have someone that needs a particular test or this, we'll give you a
Discounts.
subsidized price, a discount. That was basically how we just have to try anything you can legally to try to drag in as much clients as possible.
So what if y- you could not like bring in a specific number of clients in a month? Would you still be paid like your normal salary, or would they deduct it to a specific price?
I didn't really experience any time where I wasn't paid my normal salary because of
Okay.
maybe I didn't bring in enough people. But basically, the more persons you bring in,
The higher the
the
pay.
more the business blossom, and the more maybe you have some other initiative just added to you,
Okay.
some other extra
So
pay.
it was like a bonus.
Yes, more like a bonus. Like, oh, we did
Okay.
well this week or we did well last
Okay.
month. You can just okay find a way and just attach this to what you are earning.
Okay. So how long did you work for?
Okay, for the
Like
first
how many hours?
hours, okay,
Yeah.
easy. Um, that's the problem with private. I can't really quantify the hours because as long as there's work,
Mm.
you are expected to work. But in facility A, it was a standalone lab, so there was no night shifts during
Okay.
there. So working hours was expected to be from 8 to 5.
Okay.
But there are situations where maybe some extra work may drag on and probably close by 6, 7, 8. So it all
Okay.
depends on how long it takes to round up the work for the
What
day.
if they had like an emergency situation at night?
Um, basically, since for the standalone lab, we don't really do so much on
Mm.
emergency situation in the night because the place is normally locked. So there
Okay.
will be no way to be able to access the facility at that particular time. So maybe anybody that has an emergency mostly they take them to a hospital close
Like
by.
a government
Yeah,
hospital.
a government or a more
Okay.
established private hospital.
Okay. So we're getting to like the main topic, which is the challenges young medical professionals face. But since I have like a med lab scientist here with me, I don't have another profession here. So I'm going to be narrowing the topic down to the challenges med lab scientists face in private labs. So, okay, before I ask you the question, I asked some of my friends and some of my, will I say, WhatsApp contacts that have already started working to tell me their experiences and the challenges they are currently going through in their place of work. So, basically, all I have to say is my people are suffering. People are going through the worst situations, and some of the messages they sent me, I can't read everything out, but it ranged from poor remuneration, that's poor salaries, to delayed payment, to long working periods, to stress, to toxic bosses, to toxic working environments, to heavy workload, and a lot of things like that. So yeah, before we dive into the topic, I'm just going to ask you, how much were you paid? Like, what's the range? Don't tell me the price, just give us the range.
Okay. In facility A, it was really small, but it was a startup, and
Okay.
we were trying to see how as much as to encourage the business.
Mm.
So it's yeah, it was just without giving so much away. It
Mm.
was from
Okay, let me just give
let's
you the range.
okay.
So 30 to 60, 70 to 100.
So it was about the second one you mentioned, 70 to
Okay.
100.
So did you feel like the salary you were paid was equivalent to the work you were doing, or you just settled because it was a little bit over 100K?
Okay. For the first place, it was more of the zeal to want to do something.
Okay.
Because basically, as a medical personnel, most times you're valued on your working experience.
Yes.
So in as much as you don't have enough working experience, some persons will want to downpay you.
Yes.
So after service, that was my first
Job.
job, and I just said, okay, since it's going to be something like a startup, okay, maybe during the negotiation we talked about, okay, the business does well,
You'll
we
increase the
increase the
payment.
salary. If you can help establish this for us, we can be able to do that. So that was basically the reason why I actually took that. But if we're comparing the workload and the pay, no, it wasn't equivalent to each other.
Okay. So was there a time where your salary was paid late?
Yeah, yeah, it was a struggle
Was
because
it a normal routine for them?
it got to a point that it seemed like a normal routine because it was a struggle to how to balance everything, and there were so many excuses. This we are not doing so well. We have to take sacrifices.
Mm.
So
So they gave excuses for paying late.
yeah, for my first facility, that's what I had to
Okay.
experience.
So do you think the excuses they gave was like a tangible excuse?
Honestly, I won't say it was because I felt that the salaries of your workers
Mm.
should definitely,
It should be paramount.
yeah, should paramount to you. So making up excuses that you have other things you need to pay for
Mm.
over the salaries of the persons working. I don't think that's so nice.
Mm. Okay, so you think it was not a fair treatment?
No, it wasn't.
So did you do like anything in particular to make sure that in the next month they were not going to pay you late, or you just accepted your fate like that?
I think basically that was even the more reason why I actually left the facility because
Okay.
I kept trying to effect this and like, okay, we can do this. We can actually have the opportunity cost. We can pay for this. We can do for this because I was the part-time manager of the lab,
Okay.
so I was opportune to know the finances the lab was bringing in. But I saw that all this we are not working and it was becoming too constant
Yeah.
of a delay. So that was one of the reasons I left that facility.
Okay. But ever since you left, or right now that you've left, do you think there's anything you could have done to make sure that the salaries they paid their staff came on time?
Now, I actually tried, but it was a very difficult task. So I don't maybe they are coping now. I can't be able to tell.
Okay. Okay, so what's a normal working environment, like an ideal working environment like for you?
Presently where I work.
No, not where you work. Like I want to know your ideal working environment. So let's just assume you've not gotten any other job and you're looking to like get a new job. What would you say is your ideal working environment? What would you be looking out for in a job?
Um, Firstly, salary is very important because
Okay.
the standard of living in the country is
It's
something else. So
expensive.
yeah, so you have to make sure what they are offering you can be able to cater for your basic needs.
Mm.
And also, I will definitely look at the equipment of the lab
Okay.
because we notice that the medical sector in Nigeria is going down the drain. There are
Mm.
so many facilities that are not properly equipped, both the government and private. So I believe if someone is setting up a private establishment to be able to give healthcare services, I believe that your facility should at least meet the basic needs.
Mhm.
So I shouldn't be coming into your facility and trying to cut corners professionally to be
Yes.
able to give you results.
Mm.
It should be a good working environment. You should have the basic things I need.
Mm.
Maybe as a scientist, you should have a working microscope, at least two working
Yes.
microscopes.
That's like the basic
Like
thing that you
yes,
can never find in a lab.
yeah, it has to be basic. Then also you should have good machines. Like I think you
A
should have,
micro hematocrit, for
yes,
example.
example, yeah, you should have a
Mhm.
spectrophotometer for your chemistry analyzation. If you don't,
Sorry, oh, please, we are sorry we started speaking medical terms, but you should just carry on.
so basically you should have the basic that okay,
Mm.
this is there, I can work with this.
Yes.
Then also I think number of staff. is also something I will look out for.
Why?
Because from my previous experience, I noticed if you don't have enough staff in that establishment
Mm.
and you're taking up a job there, you're you're more like sorry to use the word, just selling yourself into slave trade,
Mm.
because you find yourself that you are overworked.
Yes, you start
Maybe
doing
everything,
everything.
you start doing everything, and there is no delegation of duties anymore.
Mm.
There is no spare time for you. You
Mm.
can't even have little time to just recharge personally. So those are the basic things I think I will look out
Okay. So what's your take on toxicity in the workplace?
for. Yeah. Um, as funny as it sounds, I won't I won't single out the private sector of being the only toxic working environment we have, because even the government sector seems to have that. But basically, in the private sector, the problem we have a lot of persons that that are in charge, the bosses, the I don't know, they always try to diverge into the personal lives of their workers.
They can call you by 2 a.m.
Yes, they can call you by, so they just believe that you are working for us, so you have to be available
every
every
time.
time. You have nothing else you are supposed to do. And even when you
They
are
don't care
putting
if you're married or not.
not they don't. And even if you're putting these extra hours, sometimes when you even require for extra pay for the extra hours, you'll be like,
Lie
this
lie.
is part of the job you signed up for, it's part of your salary you are working for. So, and the working environment in Nigeria physically is toxic, because we don't even have so much regulation
Regulatory
rules. Yeah,
bodies, okay.
they don't really look into how these people are working
Mm.
and so many
Nobody
things.
cares
Nobody
basically.
cares. Nobody cares. You are just on your own.
You're just doing your own thing. Okay, so do you think that people should manage toxic bosses or toxic work environments because they are being paid? Or let me rephrase the question. Can you tolerate working with a toxic boss, or can you tolerate working in a toxic environment provided that your pay is good enough?
Um, Basically, that's a very difficult one, because what I can define as being toxic to me might be okay
For
for
someone
someone
else?
else.
So
Like,
what's your definition of toxicity?
I was define, I would say abusive boss,
Mhm.
a know-it-all boss,
Mhm.
because
They don't want
once
to take
you don't want to
corrections.
take correction, don't. So some of those things are things you can actually find a way to deal with. But I won't advise anybody, including myself, to stay that long in a toxic environment. In as
Why?
much as you try to adjust, then you find yourself getting to a threshold and you might just explode one day. And once you explode that day, you don't know how far you're going to take it, or how far your actions are going to damage something.
Mm,
So it's always better to, if you notice that okay, this environment
it's
is getting
toxic.
too toxic for me, I can't really cope with this particular aspect of this person that is my boss. I just think you should just leave.
They should leave. But the problem is there are no jobs out there. So if you leave, how you go take chop?
There are no jobs, but that doesn't mean that you should put up with that. Because the more you put up with that, as I said, the more you might just get worse. You might just find yourself being a sad and depressed person.
But is there like nothing else you can do aside leaving? Can't you try to tell your boss that okay, there's this thing you do that I'm not quite comfortable with. Is there a way we can change it? Or I don't know, but my question is there nothing you can actually do to change the situation instead of just packing your bags
I
and
think,
leaving?
like I said, the system we find ourselves in the country is really bad, where the bosses and the people that manage this private establishment,
Mm.
they have both the knife and the yam. So there's no way, even though you have certain complaints you want to complain to, like a HR is supposed to be someone you're supposed to be able to approach and
Yes.
just lay your complaints that, oh, I'm having this issue with my boss and this is it. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Once you are laying your complaint, even before your complaint is landing, before you know, they are the ones that even want to sack you. So it's not
Almost.
even like you have a choice.
Almost. Almost. Okay. So while you were still working in that private lab or private organization, was there a time where you were stressed to the point that you could no longer take it anymore? Like you just woke up one morning and you're like, I am too stressed. I cannot go to work today. Did you ever get to that point?
For my first job, I actually got to that point numerous times, and I
Okay.
got called in and like, how are you not in today? I'm like, no, I don't think I want to continue with this. And the human factor came in,
Mm.
the pleading, the no, you can do this, no, I shouldn't do that, you shouldn't behave this way,
Okay.
it's for your future. And the funny thing that happens with a lot of us that get our first job, we are emotionally blackmailed a lot
It's true.
because they'll be like, I've given you this opportunity. I took a
Yes.
chance on you when nobody took a chance on you. And you now find yourself saying,
This life.
this even if this person actually took a chance on you,
Mm.
I just want
And
to
you
get the
want to keep
experience.
managing the
Yeah, you
situation.
want to like you get that factor. Let me get the experience. Let me just manage the situation.
Ah, good.
But for my second like my second facility, it was actually nice. I actually never got to a point where I felt I was overly stressed where I didn't need to go to work.
So, okay, on regular days where you feel stressed, how did you distress? Like, how did you unwind?
For the first place I was working, that was next to impossible to unwind because everything was just on my shoulders. I was like, you had to do this, you had to sort this out. So there was literally no time for you to just say you have to take a break. But for the second one, it was actually quite conducive a bit, not the best, but it was conducive a bit. There are times where maybe where it was a hospital setting, you can just see one or two colleagues, you can chat over something, you can joke over something.
Mm,
And there was this rule in the facility where you have a 1 hour 30 minutes break. So you can just take in between and just like, oh, I'm going on my break now. And just
okay.
try to just get fresh air, maybe just have lunch or something. So that was actually more better.
Okay. So, was there a time where when you ever felt sick while working? Like your body, you just started feeling somehow, and you knew within yourself that like I dey sick, or cold they catch me or something.
Yeah, yeah, I did. For my first, I actually did. But my both times I did both places.
So, did you ask for like a sick leave or something?
Okay, for my second facility, the problem with working in a hospital and saying you're sick, it's like a double edged sword. Like you are
Exactly. They
sick, you
want you
work in
to
a hospital.
stay
So
and
so
just go and meet the doctor
yeah,
and
exactly. So
let him run an examination on you or
yeah,
something.
exactly. So um there are I think two occasions where I wasn't feeling so good. So I had to see the doctor. My second establishment was a hospital, so I had to see the doctor. I was like, I'm not feeling too strong. They were like, oh yeah, I can see you. Seems you're running fever. And they're like, oh, no problem. Let me just write you a note to
Okay.
just you can give to the HR that you're not feeling so well.
Okay.
And second, it was quite okay because we had
Also,
the insurance policy, so I
okay.
just had to just give that in, and I had to take drugs, and insurance covered it because there was insurance plan there. But the first one, wow, that one wasn't funny.
Those people then show you shege.
I felt sick and I was getting calls that we have work. There is nobody to do this.
But did you take permission? Did you tell them that
I
you were not
I
feeling
I think
fine?
the previous day I was like, I'm not feeling so strong, bro. I don't know if I can be able to make it tomorrow. I hope maybe I'll feel better. Waking up in the morning, I was running temperature. I was totally down. And I was still getting calls that you have to come in. You have to come in. Even though you know work, just come and tell them what to do. You can't do it over the phone. And as sad as it is, I had to find my way there and just manage. So it was all by the grace of God that I didn't collapse that day.
So, while you were still working there, did you ever have like a traumatizing experience?
So yeah, my second place I worked I had a few traumatizing experience. One thing about working in the hospital setting is you tend to see some kind of freak accidents
Mm.
and some medical issues that happen to person, and that human face is there. You have to get emotional. So I think I had a case where a distant friend, just an acquaintance, a Facebook friend, unfortunately had an accident, and He was rushed down to the facility. I didn't really know it was him. I was working on the sample and I got opportunity to see the wife, and it was so nice, the crying and everything, because we eventually lost him.
Oh,
So it was really sad. The whole of the day I was so moody.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
But didn't you check like the request form?
Yeah, I actually did. I saw the name and I was like, this name looks so familiar, but my mind was like, I just work on the patient because
Work on the
it came in
sample.
as an emergency.
Yeah.
So once the sample came in, we had to just do emergency tests for the person, check the
Mm.
PCB level, check the sugar level. What can we do for this person?
Mm.
So at that particular point, I was more concerned about getting the
The
accurate
results.
results, getting it across to the doctor
Mm.
before I discovered the whole setting that was someone who made this
Yeah,
thing for
okay.
me.
So right now, currently, everybody in our age grade, or will I say age group, has left this country. At this point, me, I feel like now only me now still dey this Nigeria. So I want to know, what's your take on Japa? You know,
Oh,
Jakparing, leaving the country,
ah,
just packing your bags and going to the United Kingdom or wherever. So what's your take on Japa?
um, it's a very dicey topic
Mm,
because I feel a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my friends personally, I have
mm,
one or two friends that are already outside the country practicing. Um, Everybody wants what's best for them. Everybody
yes.
has this perspective of what you feel is best for you. But I ask myself some basic questions. I'm like, if you're all leaving the country, who is going to stay back?
Omo, e no matter, people go there.
And I always there's this theory I have is that when leaving this country, you can't take everybody with you.
Mm,
Let's say if you have a functioning family where your parents are still alive, you have multiple siblings, your siblings have kids, you have cousins, you have people you grew up with. And as a medical professional, one of the things you are meant to help people. So if you're encouraging yourself and all medical professionals that okay, you have to leave, or Nigeria is not working, the system is not working, you have to leave. When these persons that are close to you, these your family members, your friends, they fall sick, who is not here to take care of them?
you pray for them.
Funny enough, science and prayers don't work so well.
No, but the thing is, you have to think of yourself first before
True,
you can
true.
think of anyone else. Because if your life is not going so well in Nigeria, you won't even be in the will I say best of moods to even take care of anybody that is close to you. So me, I don't know, Sha. I can't say I'll japa or I will not japa because now who get money, now they think of japa. Do you understand? But if you had the opportunity to travel, to leave the country right now, as we are talking like this, will you go?
Depends on the classification. If I have the opportunity to leave the country to
Mm.
maybe get new skills
Obviously.
and come back,
Ah,
that's what I'll do because
okay.
I'm a strong believer of Nigeria. Like there's no place like home.
Mm,
There is totally no
a
place like home.
patriotic citizen.
No, no. If we
Good.
we have to. The more we live, the more we allow the bright minds live, the worse the country gets because we are not putting people that are not so qualified,
No,
people
but
that are
brighter
not.
minds are coming up. Oh.
But
Like all these small children now. Then they take first for school now. So
the thing is,
they will
more bright
study
minds is
medicine and med lab and pharmacy and they will
no,
be the
no,
ones to
no,
take care of
no. More
the
bright
remaining
minds. They
economy.
need people to group them up. I look at some
That's
of
why they
my
have professors.
yeah, I look at some of my professors, like one of my very good mentor, Professor Taffing, and each time I remember I had numerous conversations with him, like, sir, why haven't you left
Left.
this country? Like, you are more than capable of living.
Mm.
You
You
have
have the
everything. You have
funds.
the funds. You've even left. You've gone on numerous studies. So why are you staying here? And he said something to me that actually struck me. He said that um we need all the hands we can get.
Mm.
If the elders keep living, if everybody that just get the small experience keep living, who will be the people to pass on this
Mm.
knowledge? So I'm a strong advocate for that. So I'm trying to encourage as much people as I can that we can't all run away. We actually need to stand and take our health
No,
sector back.
The thing is, nobody's actually running away.
I know
We are no, calm down. We are just going to get knowledge and come back when the country is good.
Well, if that is it, definitely. So
No, the country will soon get better. Oh.
when you are not here,
Soon.
we
See, let me tell you, if Nigeria now, if everything starts working, you see that most Nigerians abroad, they'll start coming back.
yeah, if I'm in control, I won't want them to come back because
Why?
you left us when we needed you. Like Nigeria needs people to stay behind.
And do what?
We need people to actually make a change.
Please, you don't mind him. If you get away, you go carry me come up for this country. I'm available. So, lastly, what's your hot take about private labs and private institutions?
Um, like I said earlier, the way private labs are run, private institutions are run, they are mostly concerned with profits. How much profit can we
Make.
generate? And sorry to all the other health sectors people, but the lab is actually the the basic
Exactly.
breathing money making
Bedrock.
machine
That's the word.
of a private institution.
Mm.
Both the federal institution, anywhere, the lab generate more money than any other place in the hospital, any other section in the hospital. So I actually wish and hope that some labs will actually do the right thing,
Mm.
pay their pay their workers properly,
Mm.
equip themselves properly, and we can get things working if we do that. And because I feel a lot of young professionals are taking advantage of. You see where they are underpaid,
Yeah.
they have long working hours, and even the whole there is no personal relationship, there's no personal time,
Yeah.
there's no feedback mechanism of
Yeah.
trying to understand, okay, how can we make this place better.
Yes.
There's no input of the lab personnel on the general upkeep of the lab. You see where maybe other persons, top management, are actually making the decisions on how to manage this lab. So I just wish some of these things can just be checked with and put into place.
Yeah.
It really help.
Okay. That's all for this video. I would also love to see your comments in the comment section. Also, do the right thing by liking this video, leaving a comment, and subscribing to my YouTube channel if you're yet to be subscribed. So I'm going to be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.
Closer, I wanna make we day.